It's another Monday, which means another episode of Leading Off, as ESPO and I are going to run down more of the latest baseball news, including Albert Pujols' signing with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Also, ESPO and I have another Who Am I For You All? It should be a lot of fun. That and much more on Leading Off.
Hey, Rich.
We are live. This is the 10th episode of Leading Off, live from Studios 69 in New Jersey and REM Studio in Staten Island, New York, airing exclusively on Twitch and powered by StreamYard. And welcome back to the show on this Monday, May the 17th, 2021. I'm your host, Rich Rivera, and I'm being joined by a very hungover Chooch with a very unorthodox system right now, ESPO.
Thank you, Rich. As always, a pleasure to be on Leading Off. But before we get into it, I might have actually gotten on the computer, so
let's see what happens here when we take ESPO and move him over here. Hello, sir. He's muted right now, so he's trying to figure it out. ESPO's been
Can you hear me?
Yes, we do. Our co-host is back.
This is a lot better. Okay.
What's up, bud? Good to see you. Hopefully, we've gotten this whole technical issue sorted out now. We were trying to play around with ESPO's camera here. He was having some issues with his laptop, but I think we're all good.
Yes, sir. Yeah, sorry about that, folks. Appreciate you bearing with me there, Rich. But hey, happy to be back on Leading Off. And no, I am no longer hungover. But
okay,
you asked me that yesterday. It was going to be a different answer, but. I heard you had yourself quite the weekend as well up in Cooperstown.
I had myself quite the weekend, but hey, before we get into that weekend, let's shout it out though, because we don't do birthday shout outs often on Leading Off. This man right here on the right side of your screen just celebrated a birthday. So happy birthday to ESPO, the big 27, which is nuts. My man celebrated an awesome birthday, had a great time this weekend. He's no longer hungover, which is great, but we need to get you a new laptop for your birthday.
We did actually get a new laptop a couple months ago, but they fucked it up. One of the keyboard, or the entire keyboard was broken, so I had to send that back. So I'm currently operating off of a 10-year-old MacBook. So
excellent.
Knock on wood.
Well, it didn't make you look any prettier than you already are. So
thank you.
Yes, happy birthday, ESPO. Welcome back to the show, and welcome back to you all to our show. Thank you for tuning in. We already have comments coming in through the chat. Look, here's Tom Waspel of Savage in the Bronx says, "Wow, looks like I almost got the emergency call up," which I think I was ready to call Tom off the bench just in case ESPO was down for the count. And Des Dutch. Happy birthday from Des Dutch to ESPO. So we love the birthday shout outs. ESPO had a great weekend, and I did have a great weekend, as you alluded to before. I did something pretty cool that I've never done in my life, which people were kind of like, they couldn't believe that I'd never done this before, and that's visit the National Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. I was up there as part of a weekend adventure, to say the least, Saratoga Springs, and went over to the National Baseball Hall of Fame yesterday as part of a bachelor party. And I want to shout out my man, Matt Tucker, who might be listening in. I don't know if he is, but I want to shout out my man, Matt Tucker, who's celebrating his farewell tour before he becomes a married man. And he wanted to do it in upstate New York. He's a huge baseball fan as well. So we were able to sneak this in while we were up there. A lot of fun stuff, ESPO. Have you ever been to the Hall of Fame?
I have, actually. I went to Cooperstown. I want to say had to have been over 10 years ago. It was my father and I and a couple other dads and sons from the neighborhood. So it was a cool trip, but I definitely like to go back now on my own, now that I'm an adult and of legal drinking age, of course. They also have a Amagang brewery there. I'm not sure if you guys hit that.
No, so I know of Amagang, and we didn't get the chance to actually go, and it was crazy because we did hit a lot of breweries and taverns. We hit the oldest tavern in the United States,
wow.
The Old Bryan Inn, 1773.
1773, older than America itself, the United States.
Saratoga. That was awesome. That was a cool experience there. But look, I mean, I want to shed more more on the Hall of Fame, Cooperstown, and I actually was nice enough to bring some pictures to look after. Yeah.
Are these this isn't like the pictures at the end of The Hangover, is it?
No, these are not. These are not. And there's nothing that's going to slip in here. Everything's PG. But here we go. National Baseball Hall of Fame. Now it's crazy because, looking at the National Baseball Hall of Fame, there's like businesses on either side of it. It's like it kind of like randomly juts out there, Espo. It's like
it just looks like an office building to me.
Right. You're like built. It's like random building, post office, bar, random building, tavern, National Baseball Hall of Fame, shop. It was like, whoa, where'd you come from? Like, it's not like I just had this. I just thought like it'd be on its own campus, like separated from everything. And no, it's just right in the heart of Cooperstown. It's like right there.
Right, because you think like I don't know if you've ever been to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, but like you said, they have their own whole campus. I've been to the Basketball Hall of Fame, and they have their own campus as well. But it is very strange that Cooperstown, the Hall of Fame for baseball, is kind of just in that very nondescript location.
Right. Some cool exhibits, kind of go through a couple of them here. This was the one that actually like stuck out to me. Like the fact that, again, McGwire and Sosa, two guys that are going to have a hard time getting inducted to the Hall of Fame, but yet their accomplishments are shined and profiled in its own exhibit in Cooperstown. So it makes you wonder, it's like, well, if we're going to profile what these guys did for the game, why aren't we getting them into their own class?
Yeah, I mean, whether you think they cheated or didn't, well, I mean, it's pretty clear that they juiced, but I mean, it's a really tough argument, but it's still part of history, like that didn't not happen. To deny them a spot in the hall is to kind of deny that era of baseball ever happened, which, dark or not, it's still history and should be highlighted.
Right. And I thought it was intriguing because this was not the only one. There was a few other exhibits profiling, players who were on the Mitchell Report, cheated the game, PEDs, Pete Rose, all the guys that you would think would not be even mentioned in the Hall of Fame because they're banned. The players themselves are banned from the Hall of Fame being inducted in, yet their accomplishments are still profiled. Now, another thing that I found interesting here, Espo, that was actually in the same room as that McGwire Sosa exhibit was this. And if you look closely, this is where Curt Schilling's bloody sock is supposed to be.
Okay.
Obviously, Curt Schilling was under fire with the Hall of Fame and the Baseball Writers of Association.
The liberal Curt Schilling, right?
Right. So Schilling, his sock's no longer there, but they have an iPad showing the game that he was a part of. But again, another interesting thing I saw.
There's the sock.
Removing Schilling's sock after everything he said about the Hall of Fame writers. So kind of crazy.
That is very interesting. I want to know where is the sock? Did they just give it back to him?
I would think it's probably in their own inventory. I know they have.
So you're telling me there's just a crusty old bloody sock sitting in a closet in Cooperstown, New York somewhere.
Right. And Tom Wasp will like to say it's ketchup, not blood, just for the more you are. Some just cool things here just to pass along. We got Babe Ruth uni right there. Really cool stuff. Hank Aaron's uni. Awesome. Brett Phillips's cleats that he wore in his game-winning hit/era in the World Series last year. Really cool. I absolutely love this. Honus Wagner's T206 card that's worth millions. One of the most rich cards in the game. Yes, the card up there on the exhibit, like so awesome. I couldn't take my eyes off it. Really cool stuff.
Did they have an armed security guard in that exhibit?
No, and I just kept looking at this thing. It was behind like a glass. It was weird because like the setup was like 8 different panels and it showed different cards that are like the most like richest card. Like there's a Mike Trout 2009 Bowman that was nice.
Right.
This old Mickey Mantle that's really expensive. So they're all behind this glass exhibit, and Wagner's one of the cards. So really cool stuff. Real quickly, this one, of course, can't show the Hall of Fame without the actual the plaque room itself. And if you look to your right, that guy in the blue, that's Joe Stern. We had him on as a guest on our show. He was there, and there he is in a mask. So shout out Joe Stern, 3 Ugly Guys. But yeah, that's the class. There's the first class right there. The Babe, Ty Cobb, all those good ones. And of course, I had to get a close up on one of these plaques, and why not? Mariano Rivera.
Wow.
Unanimous. So
incredible. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I went maybe at least over 10 years ago, but I'd love to go back because you can never get enough history. And I'm sure they have new exhibits over time, but I mean, man, it's just a beautiful place, and it's a rite of passage for any baseball fan.
Absolutely. It was a great time, Espo. I definitely want to go back there again just because I felt like we didn't have enough time there. And again, it was the last leg of this bachelor party. So, of course, I wanted to spend as much time as possible. I really didn't have a chance to read all the exhibits. I was happy with the few that I did sit there and read and look over, and like it's insane. And it was cool to it really is baseball heaven, and it exceeded my expectations. I was like afraid going there, and of course I'm a huge baseball fan, so I'm into this stuff, but I was afraid like, hey,
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I mean, listen, two podcasts same night, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, Savages in the Bronx later tonight. No big deal. Huge Yankee fan, all the shit behind it. No, but I was more afraid of the fact that, like, hey, if I was bringing somebody that maybe is not into baseball or starting to get into baseball, that they wouldn't be into it. And honestly,
don't bother coming. If you're not a baseball fan, stay home.
Yeah, but I think it's just an awesome place to go for just more history, like museum. Right. Tom Oswald says you need 2 days, and he's absolutely right. 1 day, and I think I was at the National Baseball Hall of Fame and tried to get through it like within 3-4 hours, and it just wasn't enough. Just wasn't enough time.
See, right.
But it was awesome. One thing I will say, I wanted to come away with something out of Cooperstown. My first time there, and Tom Oswald will really appreciate this. So I made a purchase while I was at one of the shops over there.
There we go. What do we got? He is. That looks like the 2013 All-Star Game.
And it is.
Is that I couldn't make it out, but was that Mariano?
It is Mariano. Mariano Rivera purchased his ball that he signed 2019. 2013, like you said. Right. All-Star Game, his final All-Star Game appearance.
He was MVP, right?
And he was he named the MVP? I believe he might have been. I believe he might have been named the MVP for that. But yeah, my favorite baseball player of all time. I think I should know that fact anyway. But yeah, my favorite baseball player of all time, only unanimous Hall of Famer, bought the ball in Cooperstown. Means a lot to me. So I'm happy that I got it. I was so back and forth, and because I just don't buy things for myself, just like a general thing. But I was like, man, I'm gonna so regret it if I leave without this fucking ball.
You gotta treat yourself, man.
So
it's something you're gonna cherish and treasure until the end of time. But
yeah, it was awesome. Definitely have to go back. Maybe we'll have to make a leading off boys trip. Maybe grab Tom.
So. There's a lot of leading off Savages in the Bronx related boys trips we're gonna have to take this summer.
Yes, definitely.
Town and hitting some Patriots games and maybe the Subway Series.
Absolutely. And we always say the Patriots games because we're local to the Bridgewater area. So, of course, the AA affiliated Yankees do play right by us. But I'll ask you a question real quick. I mean, we'll get a Hall of Fame show in down the line, especially when we get closer to the induction ceremony, who should be in, who shouldn't be in. But if you had to name one person today, active player in the game.
Non-Mike Trout. Let's make it a little harder.
No, let's make it even harder than this.
Okay.
No for sure Hall of Fame. So, you can't pick Kershaw. You can't pick guys that right now, if they retired, they'd be Hall of Famers.
Okay, so no Verlanders.
Yeah, I'm talking about the young guys in the game.
Scherzers, okay.
Who is a for sure? Do you feel like 100% confident he's going to be a Hall of Famer one day? Go.
Ronald Acuna Jr.
All right.
As long as he stays healthy, that dude's gonna hit 50 home runs every year until the end of time.
I like it.
How about you?
I like Ronald Acuna Jr. for that. Oh, man. I was back and forth on a couple of guys. I really think Juan Soto is going to pad himself quite a resume.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's going to pad himself quite a resume. Acuna was one of those guys as well. But I think already off the rip, it's insane what he's doing at such a young age. And I think he's going to have one of the greatest careers of all time by the end of it.
He's got a ring, too, already.
He's got a ring too already. Yes, exactly.
Has yet to get, and something that Trout has yet to get, and something that it took Kershaw almost his whole career to get. So
yes, he'll win an MVP within the next couple of years. I mean, he's off on a fast track. I mean, if I had to put money on anybody that aren't for sure Hall of Famers now, active players, Juan Soto's my guy. Acuna, great pick as well.
Acuna and Soto, they're just going to be 1 and 2 in terms of the best in the game for years to come. I kind of see that developing into somewhat of a bird magic type rivalry.
Right. And Tom also said Soto. Also, shout out to Julie Brown 1019, which I believe is related to young 27-year-old Espo here. I used to listen to Espo when he called games at Rutgers. Talented.
Way back.
Talented, Espo.
Thank you, Aunt Julie. You're the best.
Thank you, Aunt Julie. I appreciate it. I love it. Well, Aunt Julie and the rest of our supporters who haven't followed us on YouTube, well, go now. Go to YouTube, subscribe to us, like our videos. We try to put up all the episodes same day. Sometimes I get behind. Sometimes I have a bachelor party. Sometimes this kid gets hungover for his 27th birthday. So maybe we can't do everything at the same time. But hey, new episodes are going up on YouTube. So you can check out our YouTube page for the past 9 episodes, plus this episode number 10 that will be up there later tonight or at some point this week. Episode number 10.
Double
right
digits.
there, Espo. That's a hell of an accomplishment.
We made it, man. We've come a long way since what was that original show? March 15th?
March 15th.
So yeah, we hit the 2-month mark, and we're only going to keep going, Rich.
100%. I can't wait to see the 100 mark, the 150 mark, the 1,000 mark,
the millionth mark.
Episode 69. Can't wait for it all. By the way, I'm on water tonight. No beer for me. I'm still trying to detox from this weekend. I'm sure you're doing the same. So,
meeting off, sponsored by H2O.
Yes, so we're keeping it clean tonight with the drinks. So sorry, guys. I know you guys enjoy us drinking alcohol on the show, but not today. I definitely need to recover. All right, Ducks on the Pond, which we usually reserve for the beginning of the show, is now our mid segment for today. So let's get into some of the news and notes across baseball. We started off with the Dodgers, who has signed Albert Pujols, his 41-year-old ass, or I don't know how old he is really, but Albert Pujols is now a Dodger. This news broke over the weekend. I would say I'm surprised that he was signed really quickly to a team, but also he is staying local. He's not moving too far. So I guess it makes sense. I mean, for the Dodgers, it was like, all right, well, you have a first baseman. You don't really need him. And then Corey Seager goes down with his injury, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. Max Muscy, who can play multiple positions, can move from first base to second base. Gavin Lux can move from second to shortstop. So look where first base opens up. And now Albert Pujols is there to take the spot. Albert Pujols going to the Dodgers, Alex. Who's Alex?
Right, and I too was surprised that he found a team so quickly. And what shocked me more is that he went to a National League team. I thought for sure he was going to sign with an American League team and just ride out the rest of the season as a DH. But I mean, hey, good for Albert. He's with a contender immediately right away, and like you said, doesn't have to move very far. I don't think he has to move at all. He could probably just stay in his current house. But yeah, it's a good depth move for the Dodgers. They are very banged up right now, but really, I think this is more of a bringing a guy for his veteran leadership type of move than it is for bringing a guy for his bat. Because let's be honest, Albert, he's the best of our generation, but the dude's been washed for years now. So
yes,
this can't be anything more than just a clubhouse morale booster, in my opinion.
So Albert should be making his debut today with the team. He wears number 55, which I thought it was going to ask,
what number is he wearing? Because I know Seager's got the
number 55 is what he's wearing. So the double 5, which I think would have been a total like Yankee move because the Yankees have like all the number retired. But yes, he's wearing number 55 as he should. I don't think he should take a number away from one of the bright stars of the game and of the Dodgers.
Agreed.
So right move there. I think people said he might have worn he was going to wear the number 6, but number 55, I guess that works. So weird to see it, but
that'd be an interesting jersey to own as a fan, to get a Pujols Dodgers jersey,
like the Ken Griffey White Sox jersey,
or like a Tim Tebow Jets jersey,
like oh my god,
or a Tim Tebow Mets jersey,
like let's like a Ichiro Suzuki Yankee jersey.
Right.
We can play this game all day.
We could. We'll have to do that for a segment. The weirdest. The most, I don't even know
the weirdest tenure.
Weirdest tenure.
I guess the weirdest tenures in baseball history.
Right. Like Rivera was an Oriole for about 5 minutes. I remember Manny on the Rays for about 5 minutes.
Willie Mays as a Met.
Oh, that was weird. Yeah, that we'll have to get into that. But
yeah, that's a topic.
Speaking of the Mets, Rich, I know they have made several mentions on this Ducks on the Pond, and not for good reasons.
The ticker is lit, as the kids would say. It's lit with injuries on both the Yankees and Mets side. We'll start with the Mets since you just brought him up. Michael Conforto, right hamstring tightness. Jeff McNeil, left hamstring tightness. Both placed on the injured list. It's an unfortunate ride for the Mets here. Obviously, they lost Jacob deGrom last week, who's at this rate, I think he's still only going to miss the minimum, which is good. But this is the heart of the Mets lineup you're now losing in Conforto, McNeil. What are your thoughts?
I mean, there's no other way to slice it. It sucks. It's absolutely brutal for the Mets. I will say the fact they're still above 500 with all these injuries is a
miracle.
Yes, it is. It is quite simply amazing that they are still in first place at this point. But yeah, man, it's just a horrible blow to the Mets right now. Conforto, obviously one of their star players, and one of the guys that has been hitting pretty consistently over the last month. And McNeil, yeah, the bat hasn't come around quite yet, but those are two guys that you can just count on to have quality at bats in your lineup every single day, and losing them for an extended period of time. And I think in the case of Conforto, they're saying it could be a serious long-term injury. They're saying 6 to 8 weeks. So it's bad.
It's unfortunate, terrible, and it's terrible just because it's just two bats you lose all in one swing there, and two significant bats. Where I'll get to the Yankees a little bit, in a Mets lineup that you have bats that have been very anemic, and now you're hoping these guys, and I'm talking about Lindor and I'm talking about Pete Alonso, that you're hoping these guys step up. I mean, simple as that. They replaced both players with Khalil Lee and Joan Shui Fargas. Did I say it right?
I'm not even going to try and pronounce it, but you did as good of a job as either of us are going to do.
Joan Shui Fargas, JOHNESHWY, Joan Shui, John Shui.
We're going to have to come back to you guys next week with the proper pronunciation.
Never heard of him until right now, when I just read his name.
I've heard of Khalil Lee, though. He's a pretty highly regarded prospect.
Part of the three-way trade over the offseason that included Benintendi. Khalil Lee getting the call. So, again, Conforto, McNeil, tough losses for the Mets. And for the Yankees, Giancarlo Stanton. Is this a shocker or is this a shocker? Going back on the injured list.
This is an annual thing for Giancarlo.
I think the fact that he made it this far, not to make it on the IL, is a miracle. But he's now on the injured list with a quad strain. Obviously, these big guys and their lower body injuries they just go hand in hand. And I would say I'm not surprised, and I'm not surprised. I mean, this is bound to happen. Either he's going to be Stanton or Judge or both at the same time. So Stanton hits the IL along with Aaron Hicks, who went down with a left wrist sprain. They said it was something along the lines of a torn tendon sheath or something like that. These injuries are like new. Like every time I read these injury reports, like I feel like there's a new injury, like a new body part. I find out like a torn tendon sheath. That's the right. Stan Hicks out for some time. Hicks hasn't really been the best producer for the Yankees this year. He started turning on as a late. Stan, of course, was the hottest hitter on the Yankees for the last few weeks. Now Judge is looking to turn it around, but it's still an unfortunate 2 losses for another New York team.
Right. And it's just, again, this is a common theme on this show. You can never have enough depth on your team, whether it's the pitching staff or the lineup. And, we're really starting to feel the effects of that. The good teams that have depth can make it through the season, and the bad teams, they'll show that they don't have depth. But baseball is a war of attrition. So it's unfortunate they've had these injuries now, but on the bright side, it's still only May, so you can still come back from this.
An immediate response I heard when Aaron Hicks went down is, man, don't you think the Yankees could have used Mike Tauchman right now? And I'm like, yep, absolutely. They need Mike Tauchman way more than they need Wandy Peralta on this team. So 100%. It's crazy. And Corey Seager going down with a hand fracture placed on the 10-day IL after getting plunked, which, again, we were mentioning before, big loss for the Dodgers that were already taking some big hits, but the Dodgers are the Dodgers. They're going to find a way to work.
They always do.
Last note, the Oakland A's are exploring a relocation, finally, to get out of that shit box in Oakland, the OK Cole Coliseum, whatever the fuck it's called now. Las Vegas is currently the likeliest possibility where the team can locate, so you could possibly see the Las Vegas A's.
Show me the money.
First franchise to hit Las Vegas in Major League Baseball, which has been there's been something that baseball fans have clamored for to see. Oakland A's moving out. I think this was a long time coming, so hopefully this does happen.
It's long overdue, and I would love to see the A's move out of that region, because it's clear that the the local municipality, they don't really support the A's being there, and the fans. I mean, that stadium's never been full in how many years have we been watching them play? So
Yes.
they need to go to a city where they're embraced. And lastly, I really hope they move out of Oakland because I never want to go to that stadium for a baseball game. It is garbage.
No. I would never want. It sucks. Like, I want to hit every baseball stadium, but it also depends on where the stadium's located.
Right.
That is one stadium that's last on my list that I would not look. Even if I was doing a California swing, I don't even know if I'd go there.
Right.
I mean, it's just not in the cards.
And for that very reason, I am waiting as long as humanly possible to visit Tampa Bay to see a baseball game. Because that's another stadium I have just no interest in going to. Have you been?
Dumpster fire. It's disgusting. Yeah. And it's literally the two teams that have the worst two stadiums that they're good teams and they deserve the best stadium.
It's a shame. Yeah, I mean, they should be rewarded for playing well in recent years. But hey, I guess money talks. You know, whoever's got the money to build the stadium is going to make those decisions. So glad it's not me.
No, it's not me. Not coming out of my pocket. So I don't care. But Oakland A fans care. So hopefully they get the best possible facility. Hell, look, they made the move in football. The Raiders moving to Las Vegas, and that
worked out. It worked out.
That facility looks amazing.
Yeah,
looks amazing. So anyway, Off Ducks on the Pond. You can follow us on Twitter at LOff Podcast. You can follow Espo, the new birthday boy, at
The Life of Espo,
and you can follow me at Rich J Rivera. My birthday's a little further out, December. So.
When is your birthday again?
December 15th.
December 15th. Okay. So do your parents get you just one present, Christmas and birthday, or do they?
You know what? They have their moments where they faulted to like, all right, well, listen, we'll try to keep it
sneaky.
But no, most of the time, no, I kid. They do right. They do right by me. Even though my birthday's like 10 days before Christmas, so I always like, oh, this is gonna be the year I get fucked. But it is what it is. They do a good job. So we love you, mom and dad, for that. All right, so let's end their show with a little Who Am I? You know, this is a good segment that Espo and I have been doing for a while now. So Espo, I think I'm going to let you go this time. I think I went last time. So give me your Who Am I?
Okay. Who am I? I am in the Hall of Fame. So that probably narrows it down to about 1 million.
Okay.
I played shortstop in the 90s and slightly in the 2000s.
Okay.
I'm going to keep going here. I won one MVP in 1995. Okay. Sorry. I had to double check that. I played for the Cincinnati Reds.
Are you Barry Larkin?
Yes, that definitely gave it away, didn't I?
Honestly, I was about to guess it on the MVP thing because I was like, I think he won it in 95 or 90.
He did.
But yes, Barry Larkin. All right, yeah, we tried to keep it.
Also had a son in the NBA, which was pretty cool. Shane Larkin.
Yes, right.
So,
that's right.
Good
genes in the
there.
Family.
He's a baller, man, Barry. He he's got his number 11 retired by the Reds, so he's a beloved Red for sure.
An argument that I get on Barry Larkin is he's a compiler, and he shouldn't really be in the Hall of Fame because he's just a compiler. He didn't have those incredible seasons. Yes, he had the one MVP.
Right.
I mean, I think on like a weak ass argument, I feel like
I think so too.
All Hall of Famers are compilers, and I mean, I think that's like it's kind of like a given. I think there's like
isn't that what stats are? You're compiling.
That's exactly what stats are. But I'm not gonna name drop who said it, but it is a listener in the show. It's somebody who's been a guest on the show, but I'm not gonna get into it. I think Espo could take a guess at who it might be. But yes, Barry Larkin deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. All right, my guy. My Who Am I? Also a Hall of Famer. We tried to keep it Hall of Fame themed for obvious reasons. I was born in 1937. I went on to play my entire 23-year career with only one team that's in the American League. I won the Gold Glove 16 times.
Brooks Robinson.
It is Brooks Robinson. Great job, buddy.
As soon as you said I won the Gold Glove 16 times,
yes.
There's only one man that could have done it.
And
the greatest fielder.
Greatest third baseman who ever played the position, defensively at least. Defensively, without a doubt, greatest third baseman to ever play that position. And might be the greatest player to play his position defensively. He's one of the greatest defensive players of all time. So probably should have went with a harder guy. But Brooks Robinson, yes, that's me. Who am I? I'm Brooks Robinson. Good job, Espo. Way to go. So look at that. We get it done with some Hall of Famers. And yes, it's obviously a little easier to do with Hall of Famers now. So we'll turn it up in a couple of weeks again when we're back. So speaking of which, breaking announcement. There's not going to be a new episode of Leading Off next week for the first time. Espo and I are going to take a week hiatus. We have some prior commitments we have to take care of. It is our bye week. So after 10 episodes, we decided we want to take a bye week, and deservingly so. We busted our ass on this show, Espo. But we will be back in 2 weeks' time on May 31st. Yeah, Memorial Day. So we're not going to, very weird, very backward schedule. We're going to be off next week, but we're going to be on for Memorial Day. Very weird how it's going to be done. But hopefully we'll see you here on that Monday as well, that Monday night. So after you get your hot dogs, your hamburgers, shoot off some fireworks, or whatever the fuck.
Laying on the couch with a food coma.
Yep, you go down to the shore, you go to DJ's, you wait in line fucking, an hour and a half to get in and get turned around because it's way too crowded at West Bar. However you guys celebrate Memorial Day weekend, hope you guys enjoy it. But we will see you here on Leading Off for Monday, May the 31st. I'll be there next episode, so we will not be live next week. So just remember that.
I'm going to write that down.
Just write that down. And of course, you can always support and follow my other show, which will be on in about a half hour, Savage in the Bronx on Twitch, 8 p.m. Eastern time, hosted by yours truly and Tom Waspel, who's in our chat. And obviously you can follow us at Savages Bronx on Twitter as well. So hopefully you guys check out the show. But if not, we'll see you here next week. And before we do that, Espo, who are your thank yous? Who are you thanking?
Well, I'd like to thank my family and friends for always tuning in. I'm going to do it a little differently. I'd like to apologize to my body for treating you like shit this past weekend. I definitely ate and drank too much. So I'm sorry, body. I'll try and eat some more salad, grilled chicken this week.
Weird. Okay. Detox week for me as well, Espo. I'm not going to apologize to my body, but I will admit that I think my durability of staying up late and drinking for consecutive nights are long gone. I think that those days are over.
Past your time.
So enjoy your remaining 3 years up until year 30 is my advice to you. But yes, thank you everybody for joining in on another show. Great show tonight, bud. Talk about the Hall of Fame. Talk about Albert Pujols being old as shit, but playing for the Dodgers tonight. But good stuff, guys. We'll see you here we'll see you here in 2 weeks. I almost slipped up again. See you here in 2 weeks' time, Monday, May 31st, Memorial Day. Enjoy these next 2 weeks, guys. We'll see you soon. Take care.